All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another We've Read the Documents live stream. Your host, John Brisson. Thank you for being a subscriber. Sorry it's been a few days since a new live stream. I know there's been a lot going on, but I'm finishing up the school year, and my cousin's graduation's coming up. My cousin, sorry. My nephew's graduation is coming up. So I've been swamped. So next week I'll be mostly done with school. 1st of June, I'll be done with school. So I plan on doing mini streams over the summer and articles on Substack and finishing my finder's book, Lord willing. So look forward to that. First off, I'm showing, I'm on Gorf Social. You can find me now. I'm posting my videos there on Gorf Social in case in case Twitter goes down, or X, should I say, or Odyssey or Patreon or whatever. They ask me out of those. Eventually they will. I'm going to stop posting on X the day, which will be coming, where Elon Musk puts up his payment platform system. So the moment that goes live, I will no longer, post anything substantive on X. I may reply to people who message me on there, but I will be messaging only on Gorf Social, and I recommend that you do join Gorf Social yourself. It's pretty free. What can be said over there? Derek is also a dear friend of mine, strong brother in Christ, so definitely sign up. Gorf.com, get you an account. Has its own video platform too as well. The features are way better for it than X. So definitely you can find me over there if if I get axed, for good. Hopefully Derek adds in live streaming. I'll be live streaming from there because eventually I know I will no longer be able to live stream on YouTube at all, period. So definitely check out Gorf.com for, really good free social media. All right, so on X here we see that it was released by some of the FBI documents for their Mar-a-Lago raid that were unsealed. They talked about law enforcement officers, the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. So they were discussing, that the FBI was able, supposedly it's the narrative, that they were able to use it on they could use deadly force during the raid on Mar-a-Lago. It's at least the narrative that's being pushed. Okay, so you have people like Cernovich, pushing pretty much assassination of Trump, Liz Churchill, Charlie Kirk. So the talking point is Trump assassination, Trump assassination, Trump assassination, Trump assassination, Trump assassination. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, now that comes on the week where Ivan Reichlin, who's former Green Beret Lieutenant Colonel of the United States military, friend of Flynn Capo, is talking about Retribution squads. And I'm going to play a stream I did with my good friend Billy Ray Valentine from the Infinite Fringe discussing Ivan Reichlin in the clip that came out about him on X. Okay, and also if you want to support my work, it's very needed right now, if all possible. God bless each and every one of you. Buymeacoffee.com/we've read. And we've read on Patreon, we've read on Odyssey, and we've read on Substack. If you want to subscribe, Substack has my most content because I post my writings there. It's easier to post my writings there than it is the other platforms. So God bless anyone who listens, donates, and shares. Thank you. It's very much appreciated during these trying times. So, we know Trump said that he's going to be retribution. We know that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Okay. God is who upholds our justice. Okay. Ultimately. Okay. Everyone is going to have to face the great wine throat judgment of God. Or at least, the judgment of God, should I say, everyone's going to have to face. Non-believers will face the great white throne judgment. Believers, I believe, we will face the Bema seat, which is different. But everybody is going to face God. He is the just judge. He is the ultimate judge. Okay. So, God is our justice. Okay. God is our retribution. But we don't take vengeance in our own hands. Okay.
And if you put me back in the White House, their reign is over. Their reign will be over, and they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
So Trump has said that as early as 2016. He's also said it in 2020 when he was running. He's also said it during his 2024 campaign. He has frequently said, I am your justice, I am your retribution, I'm going to obliterate the deep state. And maybe this time, does he do that? Does he do that? So I'm going to play me and Billy discussing it on Infinite Fringe with Ivan Ranklin saying he's going to set up retribution squads that may or may not happen before the election, where they deputize, local sheriffs deputize people to round up the deep state enemies. Okay. And I go more in depth in it here with Billy. We play the Ivan Ranklin clip where he's talking to the female NPR reporter. It's concerning. Something I've talked about on this channel for years. Okay, I believe this will happen one day. I believe it's setting up for it to happen. When I talk about things on this channel, and I don't get everything right, okay, and I'm not saying thus saith the Lord either, but I do strongly believe that this is going to happen. My intuition, my God-given intuition, I'll be like, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. But things usually don't happen if they happen months or years down the line. Okay, I don't know if it's how my brain works. I don't know, but I can see things that are happening in the distance, and almost the way I talk or the language that I use, the linguistics that I use, make it seem like I'm talking about it's happening right now, and it's only because it's being set up right now. I can see it being set up. But this might not be something that happened. This is something that could happen next month. This is something that could happen if Trump loses the election. Something happened if Trump wins the election. It's likely to happen if Trump wins the election. This could happen years from now. But I do believe this is eventually going to happen. Okay, and they are bragging about it. And they've been bragging about it. Trump has been bragging about it for years. I think Trump is a potential antichrist. It plays into that as well. So, let's play me and Billy talking about it. On America Unplugged. God bless each and every one of you. Let's go over this.
So initially when I asked you to come on, we were talking this morning, and you were telling me some very concerning things, and I was like, we need to discuss this. But I don't think I'm the right guy, just because I don't know half as much as you do about this. You were introducing me to it. So I was like, just come on and lay it out to the people. So go ahead. The stage is yours.
Yeah, still doing research on this, but I think it's something that needs to be said. So Ivan Ranklin, former Green Beret, former lieutenant colonel. He's also Spec Ops, Special Operations. I haven't confirmed that he directly served under McChrystal or Flynn, but definitely would have been around them in Afghanistan.
Who's Stanley McChrystal? Tell the people.
So Stanley McChrystal is a former 4-star general, right, who worked directly with Flynn, former 3rd-star general.
With Michael Flynn.
Michael Flynn, yes. Right. And they actually, it was the Flynn Intel Group was formed in Stanley McChrystal's house. And Flynn served directly under, and his brother Charlie Flynn, who's head of Pacific Command right now, who, was a part of January 6th. So was Ranklin. They were both awarded and promoted after January 6th. Right. Of course, Charlie Flynn was promoted to head of Pacific Command. Ranklin was promoted in 2022 before he was, discharged from the military or retired from the military, his lieutenant colonel status.
Right.
So both were involved in January 6th. Both were promoted by the Biden administration after January 6th.
Right.
Okay. So that's a second person now too. All right. And so, McChrystal.
In what manner were they involved in January 6th? Because people think that, when you say something like that they were in the crowd or something like that. How were they involved in January 6th?
Well, Charlie Flynn was in the call, kind of delaying the call for the National Guard to be brought in, right? And Ranklin was on the ground, at January 6th and was the author of the Pence plan. Okay. The so-called Pence plan to get, one of the main reasons why January 6th happened was because, Pence, to put pressure on Pence to not quote unquote certify the election, right?
I would say it's the main reason it happened.
So Ivan Ranklin was the guy who authored that plan.
And this is the guy we're talking about right now.
That is correct, yes.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
So, of course, I believe that McChrystal and Flynn are major high up within the QAnon operation with Bannon and the Mercers and other people, but, that's an aside. But so Reichland is interviewed by, I don't know the female reporter. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but she works for, I believe, NPR. Okay. And Reichland is talking about being the head of this Retribution committee, and that Flynn, of course, Flynn has been working with, the sheriffs, and the Council for National Policy has been working with the sheriffs. They've been working with local government, people within local government. They had kind of pushed the school board protest that was a CMP op through Flynn to kind of, strike back against woke culture, which I am, as a conservative Christian, am against, but I'm not trusting Flynn and the CMP running, all these school board meetings, putting people in, whether they're true believers or they have good hearts where they want to protect their communities and their children, they're being used by them for these operations. Okay. And so Reichland's talking about having Nuremberg 2 trials, okay, where they're going
on NPR, right?
Yes, it's on NPR.
What's your full name so I can try to find this?
You should be able to find it on Twitter if you just search Ivan Reichland, and his Twitter account will come up. And then he has it there for everyone to see. And he's been saying this for months. He's been saying this for years.
So what exactly is he saying? Go ahead.
He is saying that they're going to deputize the sheriffs in different counties and red states are going to deputize patriots, okay, whether former military or not, and they're going to start rounding up the deep state, okay, and they're going to start rounding up the bad actors. And he quotes the same things that were done to Mike Lindell by the FBI, or Roger Stone in his raid, or who's the guy who's in jail right now that's part of the Council for National Policy, Peter Navarro, and his raid. They're going to do the same thing, but they're going to do it to all the deep state traitors, okay, the left, okay, and I would argue Americans that, speak out against Trump or Q2 to some degree, okay, and they're going to, with the fullest extent of the law, he says it's going to be, peaceful, but they're going to have raids, they're going to have, swatting, but he says it's going to be peaceful and it's going to be lawful, but he talks about charging them with treason, which treason is, as you would know well, Billy, is a death penalty offense in the United States.
Right.
Okay. So they're talking about deputizing all these patriots from a local level, from a county level, by these sheriffs. A lot of them are CMP, and they're going to round up the bad guys, and they're going to do it whether Trump becomes elected president or not. Okay, this is the plan, and they're going to have Nuremberg 2 quote unquote trials. Okay, it's all in Ivan Reichland's bio, and that's what they're planning to do. Okay. Now, you and I have a disagreement. I think something like this is probably going to happen.
Right.
I do. I think it's part of the phony false great awakening. I think eventually something like this will happen. Okay. America's being radicalized. People are being initiated into the quote unquote mysteries of conspiracy culture. Alice Bailey was the original OG truther. People are becoming, the whole, Israel and the crimes of the Israeli government right now. You have a lot of people becoming, becoming aware of that.
Right.
And Q said that Israel is going to be last, right? That was one of the Q drops, right? So you're having people who are being initiated into what they call the revelation of the method. Okay. Which it wasn't Ike who coined that. It was, we did the research. It was some guy with Hoffman. I forgot the guy's name. He wrote Shelby Downard. He wrote the King Kill book.
Who was the other? Christopher Knowles also gets credit for it.
Yeah, but the original guy was Shelby Downard. Was him? James Shelby Downard was the original guy. Okay,
I remember, and I'm not challenging you on this. I'm just providing a different narrative from what I heard. It was Christopher Knowles that coined the term revelation of the method, and it spread from there.
Downard was the 80s. So, I mean, it's way before Knowles ever was doing anything.
Mhm.
All right. So
Okay.
it was Downard, then it got pushed to Ike, and then it got pushed to Christopher Knowles. Okay. So I
Right.
do believe they are doing that. I believe that they are revealing the mysteries, as Alice Bailey would say. She wouldn't use the term revelation of method, but that's what she meant, for the externalization of the hierarchy where the white hats and the Q people are finally revealed to the world. Okay.
Mhm.
So I think this is going to happen in some form in the United States. It may be years from now. It may be months from now. It may be when Trump gets into power, or if he doesn't. I do believe Trump is the Antichrist. I do believe that he will be president again. But if he's not, they're kind of running this Flynn could be president type
Well,
thing.
this guy,
Flynn has been campaigning with his movie,
this
Um,
this guy, and this is what lends legitimacy to these arguments, is people like Michael Flynn and this gentleman who this was Tucker Carlson that tweeted this out.
Tucker interviewed him.
What's
Tucker
this?
interviewed him.
So is this the
No.
what you're talking about, or no?
No, but Tucker interviewed and platformed Reichland before, because they're all incestuous. Actually, Reichland ran to challenge McCarthy but failed.
So what's this clip?
This clip is Reichland just talking about his military service with Tucker Carlson and talking about Trump and talking about Flynn.
All right, let's listen to this. It's 2 minutes long. This may be worth listening to.
We've gone away from the focus of fighting and winning our nation's wars and defending the Constitution. If we get back to that, I think we'll be in a better position to start to repel from foreign adversaries, which I kind of pivoted and talked about. Namely, obviously the biggest one is China. Also, Russia is helping and advise, I would argue, to make sure it expedites our demise. Iran is probably right there, not in a close third, but in third place.
Do you know the answer? You raised a really interesting point when you said, if you're going to remind the entire military force what its job is, which is to defend the Constitution. And that's
you have to know the Constitution.
Thank you.
So if I ask the question of Secretary Austin, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Milley, if I ask you, General, what are you going to do when the 25th Amendment's violated? Oh, you don't know what the 25th Amendment is? How about, what are you going to do when the 12th Amendment's violated? Oh, you don't know that one? Let me go to the base document. What about Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, or Article 1, Section 4? Most of these people are going to look at you like deer in the headlights. I have no clue what you're talking about. The thing is that our entire institutions have been, through the media, have pushed this, whether it's all three branches of federal government, even at the state level, have been pushing this narrative to make people think that this is actually the extremism thing is a thing, and it only applies to one side of the political ideology. And so, in a sense, some folks are convinced that that's true, even though it's not. It's not based on fact. Others know that critical thinkers, I would say, majority of my network is in the special ops and intel community. And those that
Special ops and intel community, that's really all you need to know. Let's keep playing it, though.
or even lean left of center, when I present the evidence in a very deliberate, systematic manner, they know where I stand ideologically, they'll agree with the conclusion, which does not align with what's being promulgated at the top. But they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their benefits. It all comes down to that. It all comes down to safety, security.
So there is audio of what you're talking about, right?
Yes, it's Reichland talking to the NPR reporter.
All right, I'm gonna try to find that so we can talk about it. But this guy, he's not some dude that just fell out of the sky. This guy's for real, and he has legit ties to intelligence, right? And he's he has some pull, right? And then he starts pushing things like this. People are going to buy into it to a certain degree, especially people that are looking to buy into the narrative, that are looking to attach themselves to something like that they don't want to think it's not real. Not talking about you, John. I'm talking about the people at large that subscribe to this sort of thing, right? He's putting it out for a reason. What the reason is up for debate, and that's where John and I kind of have several disagreements on it. But I mean, could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Is it going to happen anytime soon? I highly doubt it. But he's putting this thing out for a reason. And when he said special ops, I'm like, oh well, there you have it. You know, I mean, that's very minimal, but there you have it. They're running an op. They're running an op on the people. We've seen this. I mean, Michael Flynn did this for how long, right? He continues to do it. And this is the same nexus of people. Give me your thoughts while I look for this clip.
No, I agree with you. I posted in the private chat, Billy, on StreamYards. Reichland directly posted it himself. But yeah, I mean, you're right. We had the Ghost and Machine 2 video, which you and I should cover sometime on the show. Right. It dropped, after 3 years of them not having a recruitment video for Spec Ops. Another Ghost and Machine video drops, and this one's more blatant than the last one. All right, so exactly, they're running ops, and I'm not afraid of no ghosts. As far as Spec Ops is concerned, we all fall for some of their psychological, spiritual, and psychographical warfare to some degree, but we do our best to purge that, because once they get you an emotionality, you're falling for it.
Right, it's a problem. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, Reichland, like, I dismissed him because I thought he was just some guy that was, kind of working with Flynn, right? Until I saw that video and I said, hold up, this dude is something more to this guy.
Right. No,
and I know
good context. Go ahead.
And I know that Jeremy Rothko and Greg McCarran have covered Reichland. His father was a Soviet immigrant. He Reichland himself, is a son of an immigrant, right. From Iowa. And Chris asked in the chat, is Reichland a Jew? I don't know. I don't think he's a born again Christian. I don't think he's professing Christian. But yeah, it's interesting that, Reichland is not just some dude.
Right.
He's a lieutenant colonel, retired, United States military, and, Green Beret and Psych Ops. This is the Flynn McChrystal cloth,
Yeah.
And so it's something that we just have to show, we have to show what's going on.
Point it out what's going on, because they're running ops on us, man. That's the meat and potatoes of the whole deal. They're putting out these narratives, and like somebody like me, I remember I used to listen to Steve Puchinik on InfoWars, and I was like, man, this guy's connected, right? He's with the CIA and he's dropping all these bombs. Why would he lie? Like, why would he lie? It didn't vibe with me, but he was lying the entire freaking time. So goes back to the question, but with a different lens, right? Same question, different perspective. Why would he lie? Now knowing that he lied, why would he lie? Not denying the lie.
Yeah.
Which was what I was doing before. I was denying the lie. Why would he lie? And now I'm like, what? He's lying clearly. So why is he lying? And that's what these people are doing to us. They're playing mind games with us. Let me play this clip. Which one is this one you just sent me?
This is the direct one with the NPR reporter.
All right, let's listen to this.
I just asked what brought you here today, why you decided to come.
What's your name and what organization are you with?
Zoe Chase.
Zoe Chase.
Mm-hmm. And the show is called This American Life.
Why is she whispering? Like, why talk? Are they in a closet? Hey, This American Life. But now we know for context, right? NPR, This American Life. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a radio show.
And what radio program is it on?
It's its own show. It airs all over the country.
Who sponsors it?
NPR, jackass. Come on.
It's a for-profit company. It's its own independent company. It airs on public radio stations.
So it's on NPR?
Well, yeah, it's on public radio, but it's not an NPR program.
Yeah,
okay.
She could say that, but okay.
What is your question? You talked to me before?
Yeah, we met. I mean, it was like 2 years ago.
Sure?
He seems really apprehensive. Like he seems like very, very guarded right now.
At first.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. He's a weird dude.
All right, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Which Reawaken?
It was the first one I went to was in Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was in Nashville, and that was not the first one.
No, it
You're
was
talking about the Reawaken America tours with Clay
Right,
Clark
right.
and Flynn.
Right. She's softening him up a little bit with
His
that.
Deep State Marauder shirt with the S lightning bolt pointing down, which is satanic, by the way. But go ahead.
All right.
first one. But there was like a hotel meet and greet afterwards with flyover.
And you're based out of where?
Dude, this is a 19-minute clip. Where is it?
Just go a little bit further. He starts talking about it like right off the bat.
Okay.
And when you read that deep state target list, remember, I'm an attorney and a retired Green Beret. Illegal crossfire hurricane spying operation on General Flynn.
All right.
And all the other ones. And I can provide you that.
Okay, we're going back.
On here?
Not really. I gotta get to make my own choices, but our show is like a documentary show more. It's like a magazine.
Okay.
And so we don't do breaking news.
So do you want to do a sit-down long-form interview with me?
Well, actually, I was just going to ask you kind of like what brought you here, like why you were here and what you made of it. But we could
I'll
talk.
put a post up about it with that question.
And
then you can follow that on X, Telegram, Truth, Getter, my Rumble channel.
Right.
And all the other ones. And I can provide you that.
I just followed you on Twitter. I was like,
okay. Which one? Ivan Raiklan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because the other one's still censored by Brian Naughton at the FBI. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
So my Raiklan account is still being censored by the FBI's Brian Naughton, Laura Demlow, Joe Pientka, and Elvis Chan.
Whoa. So you started a new account?
No, that still exists because it was reinstated. Those are the individuals that are at the FBI that run the censorship industrial complex on behalf of this illegitimate regime. Do you know those names?
No.
I can provide you much detail on. They were the ones also involved in the original illegal crossfire hurricane spying operation on General Flynn, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and Paul Manafort. I have receipts on every single individual. That's why they haven't really come after me yet, because if they bring me in, the entire regime comes crumbling down.
Oh, no!
Okay.
Go ahead, buddy.
No, you got to keep it. You just keep. I mean,
but you hit us with the oh no, like
I know, just because he said if they bring him in, the whole deep state's going down, Billy.
And he says it like this. He's like, they're blackballing me. They're taking off, my Twitter account, and I have receipts on everyone, and that's why they're not, engaging with me, because I'll bring the entire regime down. How was that?
That was great.
Excellent.
Because he does say that Musk has the mother of all bombs, the Twitter files that can show the collusion of the deep state. Once it's shown to the masses, they'll know.
I'm waiting for it. Come on.
Keep going.
So they are scared of me, not the other way around.
That makes more sense. You, on your Twitter bio, I noticed today it said Secretary of Retribution.
Yep. I will guarantee. Yeah, that means that I will guarantee consequences for a list of at least 350 individuals that are on my deep state target list.
Okay.
And when you read that deep state target list, remember, I'm an attorney and a retired Green Beret. Okay.
That I know. Well, that I might be interested in talking with you more about is your deep state target list. If you have time.
Elon Musk has it. Michael Schellenberger has it. Matt.
This is bullshit. This is all 100% bullshit. I'm not saying a list doesn't exist, and I'm not saying Elon Musk doesn't have it. But
keep playing it, Billy. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
I will. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He has it. The Judiciary Committee has it. The Weaponization Committee has it. The Oversight Subcommittee that is part of the House Administration Committee has it. The House Freedom Caucus has it. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, likely has it. And it's just a matter of time for a joint press conference to take place between Speaker Johnson and Elon Musk to go ahead and disclose and release the Twitter direct messages of those individuals on my deep state target list, proving the seditious conspiracy going back to 2016, the illegal spying operation on the Trump campaign. You're also going to find the involvement of Mike Pence and his chief of staff, Joshua Pidcock.
There you go. Pence plan.
Along with Josh Pidcock's wife, Catherine Seaman.
Now, this guy put together the Pence plan, like you were saying?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. The Robert Mueller investigation was investigating him. And General Flynn, multiple times when he was asking about his relationship with Reichland and everything, pleaded the fifth.
And now he's throwing Pence under the bus.
Yeah.
All right.
Who was the senior Russia analyst for Peter Strzok, who was one of the two individuals that was deployed by Jim Comey and Andrew McCabe to get General Flynn to lie or to get him fired, as per Bill Priestap's notes, which was the Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence at the FBI. I can go in much more detail.
The FBI.
That's generally the crux of it.
Do you get to meet with Jim Jordan and talk about this stuff?
I meet with everybody.
All these guys?
Every single member that you think I talk to or may talk to, I talk to them.
I do believe that, Billy. You might disagree with that, but I do believe that.
I believe he talks to all of them. I think they are all Q-tarded.
Yeah.
I believe that what he's saying, I believe it. I just think it's bullshit on the premise that a lot of this stuff there's no real evidence for it, rather than like circumstantial. Maybe there's some circumstantial evidence for it, but there's no real evidence to back up what he's saying. And I believe that a lot of these people are Q-tarded, for lack of a better term. Maybe, Jim Johnson certainly is. He won't talk about it in those terms, right?
You mean Jim Jordan?
Jim Jordan, right? Jim Johnson is the
Mike Johnson.
No, not Mike Johnson. I'm talking about Jim Johnson. He was the guy who wrote WWE theme songs.
Oh yeah,
yeah. What is it? Now you threw me off. Regardless, I think they're no. Don't thank you. You corrected me. I do think he's in contact with all these people. I just don't think they're rooted in reality, if that makes any sense. But this guy right here is too deep in the woods. He is the real deep state.
Yes.
To know. I mean, I'm sure he knows the real, and he's just running an operation. Whereas the people he's talking to are just buying what they're hearing from the legit deep stater. What do you think about that?
I would agree. Yeah.
All right. Let me keep playing it.
About what's the reason that you talk to them?
Everything that I put out publicly, I also provide that to them.
And I guess
I don't do anything behind the sheet, behind closed doors. Everything is transparent.
What are you hoping to get out of talking to them? Like, why do you do it?
I want to guarantee Elon Musk discloses the direct messages for the mother of all Twitter files, so that the entire country can see what just occurred to them, starting from the illegal spying operation, the corrupt DOJ and FBI. The raid on Mar-a-Lago was to seize the evidence that was declassified by Donald Trump in the last few hours of his first term, which involved the Crossfire Hurricane details, which would list all the names that I've mentioned so far. Whether it was Lisa Page, who was Andy McCabe's chief counsel at the time, along with Peter Strzok, a guy by the name of Joseph Pientka III, who is currently the number 3 individual at the San Francisco field office. So you have the special agent in charge, you have a ASAC, assistant special agents in charge, and then you have the ASAC for counterintelligence. That guy is a guy by the name of Joseph Pientka III.
Where does he start talking about locking people up?
You're a little bit further. Keep going. A little bit further.
Who was the second agent that was deployed to interview General Flynn on January 24th, 2017.
I just want to say, this is where conspiracy theories start. This is how they start. People like this that are credible, or they seem credible, right? I can't say that they are credible, but they seem it because of their connections and what they've been involved with. They're like, well, they must know, right? And boom, it takes off. And that's how an op is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get General Flynn fired or to get him to lie.
Right.
That was an entrapment. And that's the same agent that was deployed in August of 2016 to the Trump campaign to do what they call a counterintelligence briefing, a defensive one, but with the secondary purpose in order to, and this was him, Pientka, along with Trump, Chris Christie. You know that Chris Christie's attorney during his Bridgegate scandal was Christopher Wray?
I didn't know that.
Right.
Well, now you know. And then the third person in that meeting was a guy by the name of General Flynn.
Ooh.
Joe Pientka was deployed by the Crossfire Hurricane leadership, authorized by the general counsel at the time, Jim Baker, who then later became the Twitter 1.0 #2 lawyer, to coordinate the censorship industrial complex, to cover up and censor and suspend those individuals that exposed their corruption. Okay. And it just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting the cover-ups. This is just they're trying to take out Trump now because they were able to take out their first existential threat, which was General Flynn, because he would have been the first one to go ahead and expose this level of corruption because he knows this.
That's pushing Flynn running for president against Trump, that he was the one that stood in front of the deep state. It was really him. They targeted him. They really wanted Flynn instead of Trump. Okay, so that's Flynn campaigning for himself. I've heard that stupid nonsense forever and a day. Flynn and McChrystal, it's just the opposite they weave. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Flynn doesn't have a shot at the presidency.
No, but they came out through Fabian Society member Jan Helper Hayes,
right?
That I sent you that, where she was hearing rumbling that Flynn was going to run for president until power consolidated around Trump. Like Trump was going to be either found guilty or taken out by the Republican establishment or whatever, and Flynn was going to coast in. Maybe Eric Prince is his vice president. That's why Flynn was touring around in a bus and releasing a movie with his face on it. And you had Alex Jones, running around.
He was pushing it. I know
exactly.
Alex was pushing it, right? He was like, I would love for you to be I remember that interview. It's like, I would love for you to be the president. You'd make an excellent president. He said, Alex Jones of Michael Flynn. This is another guy and this guy, for the record, this is my first exposure to this Ivan guy. He looks like a no-nonsense guy, This is a serious op. I just want to know why the hell it's being done and to what end. We can discuss that in a second. I do want to hear him talk about how they're going to lock us up.
Keep going. And what he's saying is important context for all this.
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
Now that Trump knows the system after being 4 years in it, he is now an existential threat to that very DOJ, the national security apparatus. Remember, 39 individuals unmasked General Flynn. Okay. One of them was Jamie Raskin's wife, Sarah Raskin. Totally unlawful unmasking. Look that up.
Okay.
The 51 individuals that said the Biden laptop had all the earmarks of a Russian information campaign, where your colleagues over at Politico published that on their website. One of those 51 individuals is John Brennan. Another one is a guy by the name of David Buckley. David Buckley ended up becoming the staff director for Liz Cheney's and Benny Thompson and Nancy Pelosi's January 6th cover-up committee.
So it's a pretty small world, it sounds like.
So David Buckley was tasked to create a list and do his deep state target list of political targets. So now it's my turn. I have a deep state target list, and I'm coming for all of them. And what does that mean when I say coming for all of them? It means the most legal, moral, and ethical consequences to the maximum, to include the maximum punishment for treason.
Which is death.
I personally guarantee that they're going to face those consequences. And you can take a look at that list.
Like, are you going to sue them? Is that what you would do?
Just wait for it.
Oof.
You will see it. It will be so visible for the entire world to see and hear. I'll give you some examples.
Okay.
I'm going to incorporate the precedents that's already been set. So we're going to incorporate what was done to General Flynn. We're going to incorporate what was done to Steve Bannon, what was done to Peter Navarro.
Holy crap.
What was done to Mike Lindell, what was done to Scott Perry. Translation: expect to see live stream swatting raids of every single individual on that deep state target list, because the precedence has already been set.
And
Remember when Mike...
All right, this is very important. This is very, very important, right? And I'm very happy that you brought this up, John. This is, and we'll go back to the clip. This is incredibly important for the people that are watching to take in, figure out what's going on here. This is the root of it. Not necessarily, I mean, this tree, he's just watering the tree.
Yep.
But it's an example, a glaring example of how these things start. And when we talk about something like QAnon, or we talk about Pizzagate, you know, and how muddied that thing got, whether it was rooted in reality or not, you trace it back to these people.
Yeah.
You trace it back to somebody like Eric Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You trace it back to Michael Flynn, and you trace it back to this guy. Look at this. Look at what he's saying. People are going to, I mean, this conspiracy theory is going to take hold, or has already taken hold, in tons of people that believe this. And look at the people that he's mentioning and the people that are going to gain retribution as a result. He is clearly on one side of the spectrum here, right? And it's just reinforcing the entire conspiracy theory that the left are the evil ones. They're the evil ones. Those are the ones. That's the deep state. You are looking at the real deep stater right now.
Yeah.
This guy is the swamp, is the deep state. If there ever was an example, like you guys want to see it, it is this dude. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. I don't think it'll happen. John thinks it might happen. I'm not here to debate him on that point. I don't know. I'm not a psychic. But what I will tell you is the words that are coming out of his mouth have a purpose. There is a purpose to this. What that purpose is up for debate. I think it's a mind war. I think this is what we're seeing right now. I think all right, John, give me your thoughts before I go back to the clip.
No, it's just this is something that this is something you and I've tried to talk with you, but not been able to get the words out of my mouth for how long? A year? Longer? You know, that they keep saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They keep saying it and repeating it. And, you know, I'm going to do another show kind of breaking down like the legal ways that they have to do it through Schedule F if Trump comes into power, and Project 2025 through the Heritage Foundation. You know, they're setting up for some sort of revolution to happen in the United States of America, whether Trump wins the election or not. And if you don't think it can happen here, oh, you're mistaken. Okay.
I just think this sounds a lot like QAnon. And I am not, I don't see how this happens. I don't see how it develops. I mean, hey, listen, maybe somewhere down the line, but right now I don't see it, and I don't see it anytime soon. This sounds like a mind operation to me, brother. This sounds like, I mean, why don't we just take this guy off and put him on 4chan and 8chan? I know they don't exist anymore, but if they did, and just give him the name Q Clearance Patriot.
But you're right. But my question is why isn't, if Biden is quote unquote fighting against the true deep state, if you believe in McChrystal's left QAnon bullcrap where they're marching their enemies to Gitmo, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't Reichlin arrested? Reichlin's literally fomenting revolution just like he was when he was there January 6th.
He's not going to get arrested for this.
I know that because they're all in on it.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you there. Everybody in the chat, we're going to shout everyone out before we get up out of here. But I do want to go back to this clip, and there it is. This is where conspiracy theories start, guys. This is the best thing. I wasn't expecting this today, but this is the example of where these things start. It's just like this. This guy is clearly just watering the tree with the potential blood of his opponents. It really is what he's laying out here. He's like, and morally, he's talking about morally. Whose morals? According to whom, bro? This is a dangerous individual. It's wow. All right, hold on. Let me go back. I think this is worth playing some more of and see what else comes out of this guy's mouth.
On the Hardee's parking lot, the FBI went and conducted armed robbery of him in Minnesota. Remember when Peter Navarro was swatted in an airport? Remember when Steve Bannon, on multiple occasions within the U.S. Capitol Police jurisdictional zone, conducted swattings and allowed for swattings to take place of Steve Bannon and his residence? Remember the armed robbery and burglary of Roger Stone that was live streamed by your colleagues over at Criminal News Network?
Jesus
that
Christ.
We're going to take in the collective and do that. Okay?
Okay.
It does not matter what happens in the election. It does not matter who wins the election. This is going to take place at the hands of the American people, with or without an election.
Could this guy just be totally brainwashed? I'm starting to think this guy's just totally brainwashed at this point. Either that or he's
he's running an op. He's psychops. He's running an op.
He's really good at his job, because I would have just sat here and told him, dude, you're freaking crazy. Like, you know, he must be he's either way, he's running an op, but does he believe it? Does he buy into it?
That I don't know. I would lean to that he doesn't.
Okay.
Because he's a master psychops manipulator like Flynn McChrystal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe. I don't think he's a true believer. I think he is literally, I mean, he lives in Alexandria, Virginia, still to this day, when he's been retired from the military.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's just some of the verbiage that he's using. Like, FBI.
Yeah, but it's neurolinguistic programming.
There you go. Okay. Dissecting a mind operation here with John Brissom on America Unplugged. All right.
And with or without whoever wins the election, I guarantee you that will take place at the county and state level, because right now the federal government is not in a position because of its capture and its corruption. So imagine this. When you take a look at the direct messages and the geotagged location data of the 350 plus members on that deep state target list, and then you curate that, Elon Musk, and then do geotagging of the communications, and then you present those communications to name the county of the 3,143 county and county equivalents in our nation, the 50 states and the 6 federal districts, right?
Okay.
And then you identify where a treasonous communication took place. And then you present that to the local DA, similar to good old Alvin Bragg. That then will create the nexus to showcase this criminal, conspiratorial, seditious conspiracy and treason charge. And that local DA, the local sheriff, will then be deputizing folks like Ivan Raiklan and those of us that were thrown out of the military because we did not comply with the illegal DNA mutilation injection, the forced DNA mutilation injection.
Do you mean the COVID vaccine?
I'm talking about the CCP-19 lab incident money-making scheme by Pfizer, the Pfizer fail, the Moderna mutilation, or whether it was just a myocarditis-making, heart-exploding J&J jab. So those of us that were either thrown out or left.
And this is what brings people in, because he's talking facts right now, you know? Yeah. So you're
he's talking about the disenfranchised military that left because they wouldn't take the jabber.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They're going to be on standby. Remember with Flynn, on standby.
Yeah.
And then you have what did Trump say? Stand by, and
stand proud, stand tall, stand by, some shit.
Yeah, something like that. So to the Proud Boys, right?
Yeah.
So,
stand down and stand by or something. I forget what he said.
Yeah, stand down and stand by. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So I mean, you don't have to play the rest. I
think I want to play a little more of this. I'll
play a little more. He's just saying the same. But hold on, guess who they talk about? Who's going to live stream the raids?
Who?
True alternative media patriots.
Tucker Carlson.
No.
Who?
Someone like Praying Medic.
Oh my God.
And Ann Vanderstill threw her hat in the ring and said, "I'll be there for the raid."
Who did that? Who said that?
Ann Vanderstill.
Oh, okay, all right. Like This is QAnon style psychological operation, 4th generation, 5th generation warfare. That's what this is, man. Right? Whether you and I agree on what's actually going to happen, I think we can both agree on that point, right?
Oh, very much so. Yes.
Right? From there, we might venture off to different vines of this operation, but we can agree that it's an operation nonetheless. Let me play a little more of this, man. Listen, anybody that listen, I gotta say this because it's been on my mind this entire time that I've been listening to this. And that doesn't, it's not a full indictment of the people that I'm about to mention, but anybody that comes through the Tucker Carlson show is suspect.
Yep.
Anyone, whether it's somebody you like or somebody you don't, there's something there that they're trying to exploit. Anyone that comes through that show is suspect right now for me. It is a platform for disinformation and a platform for psychological operation.
Yep.
Straight up and down. Hey, prove me wrong on this. That's what this is. That's what, and everybody should be listening to that show, but listening, with the they live glasses on. All right, listening to know your enemy. Not necessarily subscribe to the point of views that have been put out. All right, let's listen to a little more of this, and then we'll take it home.
Because we would not participate in the DNA mutilation of our own physiological beings. There's 80,000 of us that are ready, willing, and able in order to be deputized by appropriate sheriffs throughout the country to be participants as lawful deputies to conduct the live stream swatting raids of every single person that we can identify that conducted the necessary unlawful activity by county on my deep state target list.
2 questions. Where did you get the 80,000 number?
Good question.
Yeah. So 8,600, about 8,500 approximately were thrown out of the military. Okay.
Because they wouldn't do the vaccine.
Because it wasn't a vaccine. The name of vaccine, the definition changed before the rollout, and it was never approved by the FDA. There was never a product that was approved by the FDA to then be able to coerce and manipulate into other people's bodies. Don't believe me? Look at the footnote on FDA's own quote-unquote approval of Pfizer's Comirnaty. Legally distinct, and the product was never created. The Pfizer.
And let's just state this is how a mind operation is run. They got to throw some truth in there.
Of course.
They have
makes
to.
the propaganda.
Right. They have to. Right. And then they muddy the waters.
BioNTech was created, but that one was never approved. That was only under emergency use authorization. Right. So I need to correct you on that one. You need to do some more studying, ma'am. Okay.
See, that'd piss me off. That passive aggressiveness would have pissed me the hell off. Like, dude, I'm asking you a question. You want to correct me? Go ahead and correct me. Thank you very much. But don't give me that nonsense. I don't care if you're a 5-star, 8-star, 20-star general.
Yeah.
That'd have been a problem. But anyway, go ahead.
Nah, I mean,
what's up?
There's not really much else. They just talked for a few more minutes. You really got the gist of it all there, Billy.
I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the rest of that stuff off air for sure, man.
So what? And I listened to Epoch Times, Seth Holhouse on Man on America interviewing Reichland, and Reichland's just saying the same stuff. Right. I listened to it about an hour and a half of it. So I mean, I believe this is coming to America. I believe this will happen in some form, right, within the next few years, maybe even sooner. And again, like, I'm not worried. I trust in God and Jesus Christ, and ultimately I think that we should separate ourselves from this clown show, because neither Biden nor Trump have our best interest at heart. No matter who comes into power, God has ordained it to happen. Right. So it is what it is. I'm not a fan of either one of them. Both are deep state. Their puppets are both deep state, even though Biden's not there half the time. And in reality, what's running this it's a psychographical operation, but I do believe it's a spiritual operation. And I do believe that, if it does play into the end times, it may be what is known as God's grand illusion to the world, which is the QAnon nonsense and the Great Awakening, the false Great Awakening. And I'm putting my trust in the Lord instead of man, because this is all ridiculous. It's all just. And I'll say this one last thing. Trying to talk with people, especially where I live, because I live near Fort Bragg. I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, born and raised here. My last person served in the military in my family was my grandfather. He was drafted in World War II in the Navy, and he hated it and said no Briston will ever serve in the military ever again after him, and no Briston so far has my dad or my uncle. And so being here, not being a military family, my family's been here for 300 years. And just seeing, the military talk and listening to them in various restaurants. And, there's some people in the military that go to my church, and listen to them talk. Dude, a lot of them are down with what Reichland is saying.
Absolutely. I know this, right? I know this to be true. There's a lot of people that subscribe to this. And I mean, they're not in New York. I mean, there's some people in New York that subscribe to this, but there are people throughout the country that definitely subscribe to this. I do think it's a minority. It's a growing minority. It might be a sizable minority, but it's a minority nonetheless. I could be very wrong about that, John. This was important information. Thank you for bringing it to the forefront. And let's say, I don't trust Tucker Carlson as far as I can throw him, but he did say one thing in 2023 that was absolutely true. He said, keep an eye on this guy. He's not a household name, this Ivan Reichland dude, but he's got something to say, and here he is. Here he is, and he's saying it.
To 8 million people on X, by the way. It went viral.
Yeah, okay. Man. And X is another thing. Listen, I can appreciate the information, but it's been hijacked, right? And X is a hijacked platform, no matter how you want to look at it. When we thought that Elon Musk was buying it for free speech purposes, we were had. Not that I ever believed that crap, but I'm just saying. I didn't know why he was buying it, but I didn't think it was for free speech. It was to platform this stuff. That's what it's for. It's you told me this one day, John, and I never forgot it. And this leaks over to Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson is on X along with Elon Musk, and now Alex Jones. They have the freaking axis of evil going on over there on X. But you told me this once about Tucker. And I think you're right. You said that Rush Limbaugh is dead, and Rush Limbaugh was the guy to pave the way to carry the water for Donald Trump during 2016. During the 2016 election, and you said that Tucker Carlson would be that guy this time around, and you're being proven right by every move and every episode that goes down, and what they're platforming, the ideas that they are putting out, the amount of people that they're reaching with these ideas. It's undeniable, and they're not making any bones about what they're trying to do, right? So there you have it. This is important. I hope everybody took something out of this. Go listen to the full interview that he did with Tucker. I'm going to go listen to it. I have to go get my dog groomed today, so I guess I'll listen to it while I'm doing that. But interesting stuff, man. I just think this is the anatomy of a working conspiracy theory. This is how it develops. And then all of us, we start arguing about it, and we start taking sides. And that's where the divisiveness comes in. But it all comes from pieces of trash like this guy. That's where it starts. From deep state pieces of human filth like this dude. And I don't know too much about him, but after this clip, or what else is there to know? What he's trying to put out here. Either he knows this is bullshit or he's a true believer. If he's a true believer, he has less of a piece of trash. But if he knows this is bullshit, which is very possible, given his connections, given his resume, there's problems here. And he wants to kill people, right? I'll say allegedly, right? He
Ministry of Retribution.
He wants to hold people accountable to a moral level that only he knows, and that's acceptable to him. This is what he said.
Yeah,
he said this. So if the ultimate price, he said the maximum penalty,
treason, which is death.
Right. He said the maximum penalty for whatever they can get out of these people. And he said treason. And if the maximum penalty for treason is death, you have your answer as to what this dude is seeking to accomplish, if this is real by any stretch. But the mind operation on its own is just a disaster. Okay. John Brissom, live from the kill shed, ladies and gentlemen. Look, he took the hair off. He's all nice and ready to go. The Mr. Clean of the alternative media, Jacques Brisson, the Patriot Street Fighter, ladies and gentlemen, Black Trump, bringing it like no one else. Tell them what's up, sir.
Thank you for having me on America Unplugged as always. Young Kennedy, BRV, walking Robin Banks and walking planks. It's good to be back here on America Unplugged, and I'm glad that I got to talk about it. I'll be drilling on more about it in the future. And just remember, we're not, at war with these people per se. I don't hate any of these people. I pray for them. We're at war with the powers of principalities above them. That's why I'm here to talk about this. I'm here to talk about it so you, your family, your loved ones, don't fall for it.
Right.
Because it's leading to a false, phony Great Awakening, which is completely satanic, whether it plays into the end times or not. Right. You can find me on Gorf Social. We've read X. We've read. Definitely head over to Gorf Social, since X is eventually going to reach a point where people are going to be boxed out of it.
Right.
We've read on Substack. We've read on Patreon. We've read on Odyssey. Thank you, Billy. I'm glad I was able to talk about this.
No, thank you. No, man. Thank you. And we're going to do Fix Your Gut Infinite Fringe. We're uploading a new Infinite Fringe tonight. With some good friends of mine, and I'm scheduling some. I see my dude Wheezy is in the chat. He's going to be on a fringe soon. What's up, Wheezy? How you doing? What is Truth Podcast? Make sure you check that out, man. Porch is in the chat. What's going on, my guy? How are you? Tom Cooper, TMP tonight doing his thing. Go check him. How are you? Little John is in the house. How are you? I'm going to get some pizza today in your honor, Little John. Assyrian girl, how are you? Always good to see you. Mr. Jason Barker, the Atlas of freeworld.fm. Make sure you go check that out. freeworld.fm. Jason, what's going on? Thank you for everything. I want to give a big shout out to Angry Tiger. Karen Carpenter is in the house. What's up, Karen? Always great to see you. And Angus Mustang is driving somewhere. Maybe I'm in his ear holes right now. What's up, Mr. Angus Mustang? Good to see your name pop up in the chat. Mr. Colin Wysong. All facts. Colin Wysong is in the chat. Always good to see him. There's people on YouTube, and there's people on Twitter, on the X, over there on that platform. What's up to all of you guys? We're streaming there right now. It's not like it doesn't have its benefits, right? Mr. Chris Graves, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Everybody else that we haven't gotten, let me come over to the chat here on YouTube and see who's there. Harps 666 from Australia, which does not exist. We've gone over this many times. Harps, I love you. You're the dude, but you got to stop lying to us about Australia. Okay, I don't believe you. I never have, and I never will. Chris Graves is over there. He figured out how to be two places at once. How did you do it? You must tell me. Raybo in the chat, how are you? Good to see you. Now what is in the chat? What's going on now? What? Chris Buckham, how are you, Chris? Good to see you. Rain Cry 527. Good to see you too. I saw Moark Wild Woman in the chat. I hope she's still listening. And I think it's time to go, because I think somebody's on at 2 p.m. I don't know if it's me or someone else, but someone's on at 2 p.m. at freeworld.fm. So I'm getting up out of here. John, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, everybody. God bless you, and stay close to the Lord in these trying times.
Excellent broadcast. Take it easy, guys. Be good, everybody. Have fun today. Bye.
Bye.
Boom.